Okay, thanks everyone for joining us for our event today. It's called How to Use Data and Automation to Turn Gmail into a Money Making Machine. So, thanks for joining us. So let me just start with the basics. Um, you know, if you're doing a lot of manual stuff with your email, and you're not using automation and data, you're just wasting so much time and so much money and really losing out on this huge, huge opportunity. So, the gist of this whole course and workshop is to put together the right opportunities for you to learn exactly what you need to do to make the right amount of money with very simple tools and really some basic knowledge about data and automation. And then what Data 360 does is we actually add a lot of value to that equation, both when you first get started and you know nothing. So, including our solution to integrate in with Gmail, but also when you know a lot and you need some extra sources and information. So, first things first, the hashtag for this event is hashtag Digerati, Digerati. If you don't see that on the side, that's the hashtag for this event. We're going to go over six main topics. We're going to go over sourcing, we're going to go over alerts, we're going to go over keywords, building rules, unifying, updating your contacts, developing your qualification strategy, and tagging and labels. And then finally into some of the automation, the email and the CRM tools, because those are really fundamental to what you need. So if you have any questions, you can add them to the panel, or you can also join us on the online chat, either commenting on this video or being able to put together an amazing presentation of your own. Sorry, we had a. Okay. So, one of the coolest things we can do now is actually, let's start in on some basic ideas about sourcing. So, one of the things that I like to do when I plan out a project, especially a data driven one, is I plan out how we can best put together our sources of data. So one of the key things you can do, especially if you're doing this manually, especially if you're just kind of like searching around, is use a bookmarking tool or use a series of bookmarks. You can see on my browser, I actually have several of them. So I have video bookmarking tools and videos I want to keep track of. I have different projects that I've done over the years and different tools that I've explored. And that's how some of Data 360 tools got designed. So that's it. That's just like on regular bookmarks. And then you can also use a tool like Toby, Toby, which is a Chrome browser tool. And you can see here that as I have explored different projects or different configurations of things, I actually have everything bookmarked here in Toby, and I can also save my sessions. So what happens with Toby is you can have a bunch of windows open, and then you can hit the Toby browser and it goes save session, right? Or you can go to a new tab, which will have Toby open and it'll save your existing session. And that helps you actually keep track of every single thing, every single random thought you have. So you can see here, I have had a lot of random thoughts, like a lot. Um, and I have a different collection. So you see, I have 37 collections in Toby. So you can do that. And then once you have those in Toby, you can actually hit open 7 tabs. You can actually share a link with someone if you want to share all the tabs you've been collecting. And then you can also move them around and reprioritize them. So it's a little bit different than your traditional bookmarks. If you know about a Kanban board, it's closer to a Kanban board, but with bookmarks. So it's actually super helpful. These guys were actually in our class with us for the Y Combinator Startup School. So that's how we met them. But it's just one of those most amazing tools for keeping things in your head, putting them somewhere else besides like a notebook or a piece of paper, but putting them somewhere that can be organized and acted upon when you're ready, or eliminated when you're just done with the idea. So um, please, anything you're doing when you're looking for opportunities or you're looking for data, and you're searching the web, use a bookmarking tool or use a bookmarking strategy. And of course, we'll go more in depth with how to bookmark and how to source things on a later course. The other thing we can do for searching is to look at a thing called the fire hose. And those are mentioning opportunities. And so with mention, what can happen is you can actually find out about anything. So we always call it like a search on steroids. There are a lot of social search, data search, fire hose search, web tools. So what we mean by the fire hose is every website actually in the background captures or sends out data about their what's being published. So Twitter does it, Facebook does it, news feeds do it, AP. So it kind of comes from the idea of like the news wire, right? And with the news wire, what happened was, they're publishing stories all the time, headlines and all this stuff. And that's how the information is spread, right? So you have all these newswire services like the AP, Associated Press, and Reuters, and now PR Newswire, and a number of companies. But that also happened on the web. So somewhere, sort of past the 90s and early 2000s, people decided to develop what are called APIs, and they're called application programming interfaces. And what that means is that in the back end of the websites, there are the websites are always releasing what's happening on their platform. So a common thing in the software business is people saying, do you have an API? Do you have an API? So that's really, kind of the bottom line. So let's just start one here. So we can call this the Gmail class account. Just name it Gmail class at Data 360 Solutions, and put in our usual password and hit next. And then we'll put in Gmail class, and then we'll leave all that out. And then are we an agency? No. So with this kind of tool, you can actually monitor anything, not just brands, even though it has brands here. You can type in anything you would normally type in a search engine, and you can source things. So say, for example, you are a veterinarian and you want to know people who love dogs. So you can type in, quite frankly, I love dogs, and it will track every single thing about I love dogs on the entire internet. Anybody who says that phrase, puts it in an article, comments, makes a picture, makes a video, it will find people who say I love dogs. So we're going to skip over this stuff. We're not brand tracking. So you can also brand track, and that's another discussion for another seminar. But what we can do is actually put together a whole strategy. Again, we're not tracking competitors. Again, another strategy for another time. Now, the question is, what forms do we want to look at? We want to look at everything. So it automatically did that. And then you can see what's happening here is Mention is actually storing and finding different tools or mentions, different publishings about dogs. We can also do another one in the meantime. We'll just type in anything else. So we can type in any keyword. So we can say, for example, um, uh, German Shepherds are my favorite. as a search, right? Maybe I'm a veterinarian that specializes in German Shepherds. And we can actually look through that. And then we're going to look through all the pages that we can look through without any extra charges. You can, by the way, search on big searches on for radio, TV, Facebook, and other ones that charge and vet all the people that want the data. And then you could also search in different languages, but we're just going to stick with English today. And then you can see here that we haven't yet found anything about German Shepherds being a favorite, but we have, since we've been sort of setting up our search, right, doing this kind of data discovery, we found, let's see, 28 people so far that say they love dogs. So we can kind of go back here and look again. So, okay, these are the 12. And then we can look by source, right? So we'll see. We usually see a lot of Twitter. Twitter publishes every fifth of a second, but actually, in this search, it's not mostly Twitter. Let's see about news. No, no news, not yet. What about blogs? Nope, no blogs yet. So that's interesting. What is it that we're finding here? Videos. Looks like we're actually finding some videos around I Love Dogs. So it seems like some of the influence around dogs tends to be in video. So, for example, if you're a veterinarian and you're looking for new clients, you might look at influencers around people who love dogs in your area. So you might find out where these YouTube people are from and who's in charge of the site and all that stuff. And then, wow, we just made a big leap. So look at this. We went from 20 searches to now there's 140. So what just happened? Twitter happened. So let's go back and we can see what's getting populated around Twitter and I Love Dogs. So we have different people here, and we could look in the viewer and kind of see I Love Dogs. Okay, this is a person. Here's another person. Okay, cool. We got that. Let's see if we can find something else. Like maybe a related profession that will give me some influencers or some audience I can reach out to. So let's say dog training. So people don't typically say I do dog training, but maybe we'll say dog trainer, right? Okay. Yes, we got our keyword. And maybe we'll say dog training together, right? Because we're not sure, where are these people? We're not sure kind of how they talk or how they speak, but let's look. So we're gonna go through here, go through the same thing, and really look at what's happening in our market. So we see now we're still at about 140 listings so far. So the big difference between Google and a web hose search or a fire hose search is that it's not filtering any information. It's not limiting it to 100 queries. It's not trying to figure out what you're talking about. It's actually just providing you with like very raw data and just trying to help you see what's happening around that thing so that then you can do the next thing we're going to talk about, which is building rules. Right? And then you can also begin to formulate strategy around these people and who they are. So when you're looking at these things, you can see here we got a few under dog trainer or dog training. Nothing big, looks like it's in Spanish. German Shepherds are my favorite dog. There's actually a few of those. Now, what's interesting about a tool like Mention, and like I said, there are probably dozens of these tools, right? But we really like this one because what Mention does is it actually comes up with a theory on influence and people who are influencers in the market. So you can see here, it's identified some people with over 1,000, I believe, different followers on Twitter. that could be influencing a discussion around dogs. And then you can see kind of what else they're talking about here. And then if it doesn't really fit your rules, like, maybe this is appropriate, but maybe it isn't because, Patrick Norton, he's talking about dogs, but he's also talking about androids and computers. So is he a real dog person? I don't know. But this person here, Moni in Spain, she's talking about ABBA and hunting. And that's interesting because hunters do have a lot of dogs. So that might be an interesting source of an audience for you as a veterinarian, right? So we're looking and we see a few other things, cyberbullying, beauty. So I don't know, maybe we'll let the tool keep searching and seeing if this influencer gets updated, right? So we just started it. These tools tend to move backwards as well as forward. So if we wait a day or two, we're going to be able to see more influencers. Let's see what it says about the web. So with the web, there's a few things that can happen. We have news sources and things like that, but we're still, it looks like, pretty early in this search. And we'll show you what a um, more advanced search actually looks like and how that works, because we have one that's been running for a moment. But right now we don't have any web sources. Let's see if we have some Instagram. Nope, no influencers on their Instagram. So we're going to take a little time and let this feed out. Now, let me think about some other things that might be more helpful in me as a veterinarian search. So maybe we want to talk about, right? There might be a more active of people on all these different sites, whether it's the news or blogs or social media. So let's just put in animal rights. Right. And so we're going to go through, we're going to do all the different sites. We're going to do it in English. And we're going to see where animal rights lies. And then maybe along that thread, there might be more activity of people. So, for example, vegans tend to be animal lovers, right? So maybe we'll type in vegan and we'll kind of see what's happening in that market, right? We can get a lot of different things. There are a lot of different vegan things these days. So, as a veterinarian, I'm looking at, okay, where can I really source out my influencers and things like that. So, kind of find that data, right? And then we're going to start turning those people into actual records and communication and people that we track. So let's see here. Oh, look, dog trainer populated with 103 mentions. So look, there's all kinds of stuff in here. It looks like there's a blogger who's does dog coaching. So that might be somebody you can partner with or talk to about who they know, right? So we start to look at how do we turn these things into people that we can meet and people that we know. So, for example, Keith Bradley did dog training in Vermont. Maybe we are on the East Coast. Maybe we're in New York. Maybe we're not far away. And we can talk to Keith and see if he'll talk about our services or see if there's a connection between the two of us. So, we want to save Keith as a particular mention. And so you can add to favorites, right, and do that. You can do different tools and you can, move into the archive and organize it, all that fun stuff. We can also kind of see, okay, are there other platforms where this is happening more frequently? So looks like some stuff on Twitter came through. Let's see what we have. Or is it Twitter? Let's see. What is it? Maybe it's news. Okay, there's one news site that's talking about dog training. Wow, I think it might be blogs. It might be all blogs. Let's see, it looks like there's a few blogs. It might be videos. Yeah, it looks like there are quite a few videos. So it turns out for veterinarians, it looks like what we found out in the I Love Dogs section too, dog training, video people and video influencers are probably the people that comment on videos are the people that are most likely to influence and drive and participate in the conversations about animals. So we can start to look at how do we read through these and figure out what's going on. And one key is an influencer. Another key is you can start to build out other criteria, right? So we're going to go to our previous example and start to look at how we build out some criteria. So, for example, say for insurance, we're a veterinarian with an app. Well, in that case, Patrick would be a very, very good source of information. He's an Android user, he likes computers. Say we like people who are also super informed. So there's someone here that goes talks about CNN. There's a few Fox News people. I'm not going to start with politics today, but there are a few different Fox News people. There's other one that's an avid technology person. So if I was a veterinarian and I had an app I was marketing, then these would be the perfect cross section of people. But maybe there's some other things, right? So if I want to look at some of the other um, topics, let's see what it says here. So if we look at dog trainer, let's see how many people we have. Okay, so we have someone that is doing some Amazon work, looks like an Amazon affiliate. Now, this person might be good if we have also online products or online store and we're a veterinarian. Here's one about animal rights. So this is a dog lover for sure, a voice for animals. So maybe we want to recruit them to help talk about what we offer, what our services are, what kind of products we sell. Um, and there's a few other ones. So you kind of get the gist, right? There's lots and lots of different things that can be done. Let's see if we have the web search updated with any of these. Okay, so we start to have the web search. So this one is like super interesting because it has, it's called Dog Time. And it looks like, there's probably some conversations. I'm sure they have a Twitter and a Facebook and all those things. So if I'm a veterinarian, I really want to be checking out Dog Time, really seeing what's going on with Dog Time and see if that's a new source in my area for what's going on. Now, the difference between you doing it and Data 360 doing it is we don't actually have to manually look through all these things. We actually can tell you the results for thousands, hundreds, dozens of terms at a time, right? So you're not sitting there trying to figure out in your head. We can actually give you the most viable markets for you within 24 hours. But if you wanted to try to explore and check it out and source it yourself, you can also use tools like Mention. And like I said, there are many, many other tools where you can start to develop these rules. So I talked about a few different rules like, you sell products or you sell an app and you're a veterinarian, you want to look at cross sections of opportunity. You want to look at topics, you want to look at influencers, and you also want to be able to download these feeds to kind of examine them further. So what those downloads look like are just a bunch of Excel spreadsheets that have everything you need to be able to analyze those. So, but if you don't like analyzing things, I highly recommend you talk to us about what you need and we can help. Okay. So I promised we would look at another more interesting topic. And so let's look into a previous demo where one of our clients was asking about um, what do you call it? Let's see. They were asking about pizza, I think. And pizza, we are able to kind of see different things. So let's just go there. Okay. So we'll look at this in. Okay, let's connect. Okay, so they've already kind of just gone crazy with their deal here. And oh no, said no to the wrong thing. So with this one, they said pizza, right, which is super general. So say, for example, I have new pizza recipes. I'm an online chef and I want to attract people to my blog. We're going to look on Twitter and kind of see what's happening in the market related to pizza. So we can kind of take a look at things and kind of see breakfast for today is me, love pizza or chicken biscuits or mini pies. So he's just talking about what he likes to eat for breakfast. This lady said she went for vegan pizza at lunchtime and she can't sing Hold Me Close Now Vegan Pizza because she loved the vegan pizza and all this different stuff, right? So we can look on pretty much every platform and then be able to see all these really great things about what's happening in the pizza market and how pizza works and what the opportunities are for pizza and kind of look through each entry manually. And then we can go to the influencers tab and then be able to see what kind of people influencers are in the pizza market in the last 30 days, right? So we have a really good sample. We have about 54,000 people, it look like, I think. And so we have all these different groups that are talking about pizza. So we kind of want to see, like, what are those cross sections, right? So not just pizza, but let's see, maybe we're talking about, the value of p- pizza and looks like pizza as a fast food. So that's Domino's. Let's go down a little bit. Let's get to some people versus corporations. Okay, so Dylan, he talks about wrestling and pizza. That's interesting. There's another one, food porn. Looks like just showing pictures of food. They also like animated movies. So, for example, if you had some great, super delicious, amazing thing, you might want to talk to the person who owns food porn and ask them to feature some of your recipes and some of your pictures. Um, let's see. I think we have another person here. He's a programmer. Retro gaming. Oh, let's see. Net neutrality, retro gaming. So he's a techie. So, we might check out and see what he has to do with pizza and read his blog. So that's kind of the manual way. Again, with Data 360, we actually would ingest all this data into our system and then be able to analyze exactly how it happens. And let me show you once you kind of have the rules, like, okay, I want people who like pizza, who like to stay up late at night and who watch late night television or whatever. And I want the influencers who love vegan pizza because I have a vegan pizza, but it's like closer to a regular pie and it's at night. So you have all these different things, right? So that's where big data becomes super effective and super amazing because you're able to really come up with the most amazing opportunities of how these things work. So we're able to say, for example, we could put in 10 criteria and find people that match all 10 of those criteria. You can see here that we're looking at reaching 200,000 people, 300,000 people. What's great about APIs is actually you can, as a company like Data 360, we actually have authorization to see who all these people are and to see what kind of relationship they have to your specific need in your database, and then how to turn them into contacts and load them into your Gmail, right? So that's kind of the gist. There are some technical hops in there, and from Data 360, we go ahead and take on that burden. Again, you can take these tools and kind of explain, play with them, and see how they all work. But you will need someone who's programming savvy to connect all the tools together, right? So how do you connect the data you find in your bookmarks, turn those into queries? How do you then put them in the mention? And then be able to see the people and how you take the people and then take it to the next step, right? So in topic 3, so your rules are what kind of people are you looking for? How many different criteria? Now we're going to talk about unifying and updating your contacts. So in the case of Day 360, you can see we're tracking 23,000 out of our 50,000 contacts in this tool, which is called Full Contact. We do everything from when we get business cards, we're actually getting those business cards scanned and put into Full Contact. And then what Full Contact does is it actually goes out to the internet and finds their other accounts and things like that. So they'll find, for example, your Twitter, your LinkedIn, all your Facebook. Let's see if we can find some people here. Of course, there's a company description. It also finds where your company is listed online, if the person or the person's company is listed online, if they're not already listed. It will automatically gather contacts from Twitter as well as business cards, and anything or your email. It'll actually gather all those contacts and put them together. So we want to make sure that um, there are some really amazing opportunities there, and that you can basically see all the different things you can do with those contacts through viewing their other media. So again, this is a manual process. You can see you can take notes here, and then you can also put together a great presentation on how to uh, sort of create a relationship with this person, right? So aggressive growth, they do entrepreneur media, they blog for entrepreneur.com. They have LinkedIn and Twitter, Gmail, and their website. You can read all those, and then you can go back and put notes in as to what kind of relationship you want to have with them, right? And then you can see here, as my contacts are being tracked and logged in here, it's tracking duplicates. So let's see, we have somebody who's a duplicate in here, and we want to merge those together. So we go, okay, great. Now Sabrina's in one place. We have some new contacts for people who've emailed me for the first time. So this is a venture capitalist. Hi, Greer, if you ever wanted watching this. And so at that point, we can begin to start to strategize, right? And so one of the ways Data 360 does it is we start to qualify people by how do we meet them, right? We make sure, like here, you can see Greer's contact information just automatically updated. So like, cool, okay, it updated. So she's an analyst in a deal flow. Okay, cool. We got some more updates. Okay, and there's Melody, who's with the Federal Reserve, and we got updates on her. And so we can start to say, okay, now what do we want to do with these people? Right. And we start to track them. So, like for Day 360, the first thing we track is we actually track where we got them from. So, in the case of Dr. Kim, came from Intercom, and before that, some other sources. Melody, we met at the Federal Reserve event, and then we can also, in full contact, look at these tags and start to see. Okay, here's all the people we met at the Federal Reserve. We can start to make notes. We can start to see what we want to do with those people. We can put together the best opportunities for those people. We can call them, make more notes, add more tags, that kind of stuff. So if you look here, you can see Data 360 has 4,682 tags in here, which is fun because I'll have to clean that up soon. And then you see there's some smart tags like missing name, missing organization, missing email, where it came from, and then what project we met them in, and that kind of stuff. And then there's apps we can use to track these things. But basically, it gives us an intelligence. And then all of that data actually gets synced into my email, the tags, the everything, right? So that's what's super fun about all of that. So actually, let me show you what that looks like in Gmail, in G Suite. So for Gmail and G Suite, we have Google, right? You can see when I popped up my browser window, Toby's right there to track anything I'm looking at in my web browser, which is so awesome. Okay, so let's go to my work address here. And I'm going to go to my Google. So when you have G Suite, by the way, you can actually track between your own regular Gmail account and your business account, and they are different. They have different features. The public version of Gmail, G Suite, is very limited versus the business version has a lot more options and a lot more security. So we can go actually to our contacts in the G Suite and actually see the exact same tags that are sitting in full contact. So that's really the benefit of the API. The Google API for contacts is receiving the information from the the full contact API, which is pushing information out from its API to Google's API. So that's where all this kind of API business becomes really critical and becomes super fun. Once you have all your people and your influencers and you're finding emails and all that stuff, you actually can really see a ton of things, just a ton of time. Let's see, we're waiting for the tags to load. Okay, so you can see here, just like in this tag cloud here with this 4,000 tags, you can see some of these like 1010 Wilshire active community, all that fun stuff. You can also see here 1010 Wilshire active community. So that shows you kind of how it's synced up. So if I want to see those people, the same people that I can see in full contact and I can see in Google Contacts from G Suite, I can really see that each of those are the same people. So let me go there so you can kind of see the difference. And then any notes I put into full contact can actually be put, will load into Gmail as well and G Suite. So my Google Contacts will get updated, my G Suite will get updated, my Google Voice will get updated. Anytime I want to share a document, will get updated. So it's really a truly smart system and innovative, right? So all of these I can turn into a whole universe of engagement. So I can take these contacts on this level. So you see, here's Charles Wang here, this API. And then here's Charles Wang here in Google Contacts. So that's what's great about having some of these data savvy tools, even the really basic ones in place. So you can see here, I have those things and I can see different things for Dr. Wang, and I can see all his different things that full contact added, right, in his description and his Google Plus profile. So that's what we mean by API. APIs are really powerful because they can track that kind of information. And then you can add automation tools to Gmail. So this is one that we added, and we talked to some people about joining our community site on Mobilize, and we ran a campaign. And so what that looks like is there's actually the people that so say, for example, we targeted the 1010 guys, we would load them into this tool, Reply. Reply syncs with my Gmail, and then I can actually run a campaign to those people, but it's personalized for them. It has their name on it, it has their company information, and whatever I put into the template, it'll actually have happen. So you can see here that these are people we've been contacting. We loaded them here. If we want to load more, we would literally hit this button and go add new contacts or create manually. We can add in, depends on your level of sophistication. And then from there, we can actually select those contacts and add them to an email campaign. And so this is the campaign we have loaded now. So let's go take a look at that. And so what happens with that campaign, right? So we talked about, finding the people I mentioned or some kind of sourcing tool or any kind of alerts or bookmarking, building up rules like who am I contacting? What's the logic behind who I'm contacting? So if I'm a veterinarian, I have an app, I want people who love dogs, I want people who are computer savvy. So let's look for that in the sourcing tools, or let's read their bios or go through their social media and find that. And then from there, we're unifying it, updating the contacts, right? Full contact and Google Contacts, right? Or we can just update it in Google Contacts directly. That gets loaded into your Gmail. And then from there, you can also set up campaigns that connect to Gmail and tools like Reply. You can also just literally type the person's name in Gmail. And then you, because you've already uploaded into Google Contacts, everything's already there. You can go to Google Voice and call them, or you can use your regular phone and call them, especially if you have Android. It'll auto update all your Android devices with that person's Google contact information that you got all the way back from your sourcing tools. So in this one, we have a campaign. We were targeting 126 people, 34 people opened, and then we have a template we've made where we have different steps about joining Data 360 community on Mobilize. So we have day one, we talk about, please whitelist this. Day two, we have, or day three, we have, there's no place like home. In day six, you have different things. With a tool like Reply, you can also just use tools that they already have. And so you can go through and make a template. It actually helps out. So this is another kind of data tool, right? It helps you with subject length, word count, question count, um, reading level, positivity, and spam word count. So this basically is a guide. It's not the law, but it's a guide to help you learn how to do things. And then you can apply different templates, right? So if you have certain templates, like, I'm looking for advice, this is a template that they already have pre-done for you. You can insert other variables like their company or their city in there. You can get more personalized, and then it will send out through your Gmail. So it's not spam through another email service provider. It will send it out and then help you actually get everything put together. And so there's a lot of really great templates in Reply. We're so thrilled with this one. We can talk about, there's value propositions, there's compliments, all that fun stuff. And then, it's both. It has all these great things, right? So it really gives you more data. Like, so for example, once you run your campaign and you know it's good, it actually gives you like all the stats to help you make clear decisions, right? So it gives you some overall stats, like what's happening with opens, what's happening with emails. But what's cool from a data perspective, it actually, let's wait for the computer to catch up here. It will actually put together like how many times someone viewed something, which is also like a really great indicator of interest. So we always track like when somebody last viewed it, how many times they viewed it, because usually like if they're viewing it a lot, then for example, they probably have a ton of interest. So it's super, super awesome because you can actually catch so many things from that. So we're just like, oh my God, let's implement this tool. So that's why we're debuting it to you, because we really love this tool. But there are lots and lots of tools and lots of engagement processes and lots of things. But they all kind of do the same, which is they give you the way to contact people. They actually give you the stats on people as you engage with them and you really understand how that engagement works. They also connect logs for you, that kind of thing. And then there's integrations, like if you actually have a CRM outside of Gmail, like you have a corporation you work for, it actually goes through and you can integrate with other tools. Let me show you the views. So you can see here, some people are really interested than others. Other people didn't open at all. So you can kind of see, how to prioritize people. It's a really basic way. Along with your previous rules and workflow logic, you can actually do some really amazing things in targeting people and getting very specific. So your templates can become grouped. You can create lists and just send some things to one list and other things to other lists based on how you group them. So this is where you kind of move. For those of you who are funnel people, you kind of move beyond the funnel, right? We really want to make sure that you're engaged and you really have the most wonderful opportunities to get past the point of just kind of doing one thing, right? You begin to get dynamic and you get more intelligent in putting everything together. So that is the primary goal here with some of these tools. The last thing we're going to go over, because we have about 10 minutes left, and this is really meant to be an overview. We're going to go over some other pieces soon. We're going to go over cold emails, right? So this is kind of like the fearful thing, but luckily we have Mailshake, because Mailshake is one of the experts in the industry on cold emails. It helps you understand how to build relationships with people in sales and how to get some intelligence and some data. So I cannot summarize everything that Mailshake does, but I'm a big fan. So when you use a company like Data 360, all this is built in. But say you want to do things piece by piece, and you want to understand things, you want to get more into the details and kind of be a DIY person. Now, there's some things that you can't get because as a person or as a person who can't deal with data or is not technical, like you can't get to some things. But Mailshake actually provides a lot of access to kind of how to put things together. You can watch the videos, and so if you have more time than you have resources or money, or you're just wanting to explore and learn, Cold Email Academy is really great. So there's list management that they talk about in Cold Email Academy. Where do you find emails? How do you scrub your list so you can make sure you don't get blacklisted? How do you prep for personalization? So that's what we're talking about there, right? How do you get the basics? How do you make sure it's delivered right? How do you have a toolkit? How do you write the right messages, right? So Reply has that with some of the templates, but there is an art form to writing these messages, and they are very specific to your company and your offer. How do you do personalization? How do you follow up? How do you do testing? And then all that stuff. So there's all these fun things that are on there with emails, with videos, with all these things that will help you discover what to do and what the best thing is. And sometimes you have to look at it and keep it super simple. Keep it to the point where you feel comfortable, you don't feel overwhelmed, you feel like there's a really great opportunity, but you're not gonna mess with your psyche too bad, right? And so from Data 360's perspective, we are really passionate about getting you to the easiest thing. So we just say, look, you don't have to know about all this stuff. How about we just help you? So let me give you a prime example of kind of cross comparison for these things. So let's just take how we kind of do the ROI analysis, and then you can make up your own mind as to whether you want to kind of do this stuff and play around, or if you want to work with Data 360. So we have a basic ROI calculation, right? So the first ROI calculation we have is your time, right? So with your time. So we always say, look, value your time, because your time could be spent not just finding and hunting for people and emailing. It could also be spent building actual relationships and closing sales and doing more valuable activities, right? So your time, let's say your time is worth 50 an hour. That's how you like to get paid. And you spend 20 hours learning this material. So that means that learning this material just costs you $1,000, right? And some people don't think about their time that way. So for me, when I do my time, I value it at about $250 an hour. So I know that if I'm doing something, it needs to yield me something really great. So for example, this video, we're gonna put into the company coffers and then offer it, and then that's part of our income stream as a company. So your time to learn this, let's say, costs $1,000. Then let's go into Gmail, right? So Gmail, let's say you have you and one other employee. So Gmail for this kind of stuff is $10 per user per month. So I'm gonna say $20 per month. And let's say our campaign lasts 90 days. It takes 90 days or 3 months to do that. So there's $60 in Gmail. That's not bad. That's actually a great deal, which is why we support Gmail. Now let's get into these other tools. Now, Full Contact, also a fantastic deal, is $9.99 a month. And so for 90 days or 3 months, we have about $30. Let's just call it 30. So far we spent $90 on software, $1,000 on your time. Oof, that's a little hard. And then let's get into some of these like sort of your fancier tools. Like, so say your 20 hours includes you doing your searches and all that fun stuff. You're only doing one or two searches. So for one or two searches, Mention, it's 29 bucks a month. So let's look at that. So Mention is $29 per month. You're doing 90 days or 3 months, and you're doing $90, right? So still not bad, right? But we're already up to right now, budget is $180 in software and $1,000 of your time. Now let's add some more tools. Let's keep going up here. So say, yes, I want reply too. And I don't have that many contacts. I just have 200. So there's you and your employees. So there's $50 per user and 200 people per month. So let's say here, $50 per user. So that's times two per month, right? So we have $100 per month. And then we have 3 months of service, so 90 days or 3 months. So the total is $300. So we're starting to get up there a little bit, right? So that's some more software, right? That's for reply. Let's put reply in there. And then the next thing is, right, say we want to go for the whole kit and caboodle, then we're getting Mailshake, right? And we have unlimited emails is also $29 per month. So Mailshake is $29 per month per user, right? So we have to do times two per month is $60 basically per month, 90 days or 3 months, and that's $180, right? So that's Mailshake. So, the basic tools, we say it's about $180 of software, $1,000 worth of your time. I hope you're measuring your time. Then with Reply and Mailshake, which really gets you to getting those results, right? That money machine for your email, right? You can't use MailChimp for this stuff. You're talking about $480. So email, advanced email, right? That's $480. And that's, not including your time if you have extra time in addition to researching the tools. Like, so say you take, implementation time, right? And you have another 20 hours and you get paid $50 per hour. It's another $1,000, right? So what it starts to look like is if you put all of that together, you have $660 in software. You have $2,000 of your time, all to pull off what Data 360 does. So that's a total of $2,600. So what we tell our clients is implementing with us costs about $25 per month to $199 per month on a basic package, right? So say you're at $90, I mean 90 days, so 90 days, 3 months. We're talking about $75 or $600, right? So when you look at it, at the minimum, you're going to be saving $60. And that's if you don't value your time. At the maximum, you're going to be saving over $2,000 if you're talking about the minimal packages. So that's what we're going to drive home. We love that you love to do things, right? And we love to guide you through things. The biggest thing is what people often don't understand is that it does not save money. What saves money is the automation and time, but what saves even more money is if you get a team like Data 360 to help you. So, I encourage you to actually take all these tools, explore them, really get to know what you want to do, and then contact us when you're ready to save some time and some money, and get your results out there. So, I hope you learned a whole bunch today. We're at our stopping point, and I hope you got some great tips. And I really thank you for joining, and we look forward to having you on one of our next classes or workshops. And be well. Have a Merry Christmas and a Happy Holiday.